So, what is cloud computing anyway? And why should you care? What's the big deal? And even if you are familiar with cloud computing, I recommend that you watch the next clips as it can make things clearer. What is cloud computing? Well, let's imagine this. You are at home and you turn on a light. That works, right? Because of electricity. Or when you drive on a road with streetlights, these also just work. We can take this for granted as electricity just works, right? It is a utility service that we don't manage or control, we just use it and it just works. Nowadays, we use many devices like computers, smartphones, TVs, cameras, and so on, which are all connected to the internet. Most things we do with these devices wouldn't work without the internet and the services and capabilities that run there. And in this case, what we mean with the term internet is the same as cloud computing, because the internet just connects us to computers somewhere else, like computers at Microsoft or Facebook to do something for us, like send an email or watch a video. Just like electricity, this just works, and we expect it to. It is a utility service. Cloud computing is computers and services that are run and managed by somebody else. And it has these properties: compute, so processing power in the form of CPUs, GPUs, which are graphical processing units, and RAM. It also consists of storage, as in hard drives that store massive amounts of data. The cloud also offers elasticity. This means that compute and storage in the cloud can scale up to help you when you need more of it, and it can scale down when you don't need it. Another component is self-service. If you, as a developer or IT pro, uses cloud computing, you can spin up a service like a virtual machine yourself, instead of ordering a physical one and waiting on it. This dramatically speeds up your go-to-market time. And finally, and maybe most important, the compute, storage, and other capabilities in the cloud are not yours. You just use them, you don't manage them. Your cloud provider is responsible for keeping them up and running, performant, and secure, so that you can focus on adding value to your business. It might already be clear to you why you would use cloud computing. This might help as well. I have this website, improvingbarry.com, where I host my podcast and other content about health and wellness. Shameless plug, by the way, go check it out. Now, hopefully, my website has lots of users that use it a lot. If I wasn't using cloud computing, I would have to buy servers and storage to accommodate all of those users. And I have to buy and run enough so that I can manage the peak amount of users. But on holidays and weekends, I might just have a couple of users and most of my servers wouldn't be used. That is a waste of money and effort to manage these. If I would use cloud computing, which I do, I don't have this problem because I rent my servers and compute. And they scale to my needs, so users will always be able to use the website even when it's busy, and I never pay too much. So saving money and not having to manage my servers is what drives me to use cloud computing. That's my main reason. Also, the cloud is much more secure than I could ever get my servers to be. It makes sure that my website stays up and running. And it ensures that my website is fast for everyone that uses it, no matter where they are in the world. And what is very important is that the cloud takes care of all of this plumbing, so that I can focus on creating content for my website and building my business, the things that matter. Those are the most important reasons to use cloud computing. We'll see some of the others during this course. Now, there are several types of clouds. So far, we've discussed public cloud computing, where you use cloud services that anybody can use, like from Azure, AWS, or Google. I could also have servers and storage in my own data center. This is a private cloud. It gives me more control and also more responsibilities. What we see most nowadays with companies that start out in cloud computing is that for some services they use their own private cloud, so that they have the feeling of control. I say feeling of control because a private cloud can never be as secure as a battle-tested billion-dollar public cloud like Microsoft Azure. And then for some services, they use a public cloud provider. This is called a hybrid cloud or hybrid cloud computing, and is often the first steps for a company to start with the cloud. Next, we'll look at why you should use Microsoft Azure